Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. I've got one of the funniest guys in the business, the Fat Jew, joining me on Behind the Velvet Rope. Make sure to check out his new book, Money, Pizza, Respect. The guy's just doing incredible things and turning social media into one of the coolest platforms on the planet. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. It's 9 a.m. and I am in an arcade. Why am I here, Fat Jew? This is crazy.
Come on, would you expect anything less from me?
No. You know what's funny? I'm like, when I'm looking at locations and then we get the location, I'm like, Chinatown Family Fun Center. I'm like, what is this place? And I walk in and it's every 14-year-old's dream.
Where else have you been to like a book junket? Like probably like some like a hotel suite. Boring. No, we're not doing that. This is like a place that I've literally hung out my entire life. I was telling you earlier, they used to have a live chicken here that was able to play tic-tac-toe. They got rid of it like 10 years ago, but I've been hanging out here. I hang out here less now because like I'm an adult and I think that seems creepy if I'm here by myself, just kind of lurking around, but it is like the most fun. So boom, 9 a.m. on a Thursday at an arcade. This is what I do.
Well, the reason that we're here, I'm going to pull it off the table. Dude has a book out, Money, Pizza, Respect. This has got to be one of the funniest books I've ever read. But I'm going to put it back all nice and neat for you. Pretend like we're all professional.
Right.
It's one of the funniest books I've ever read, man. The
Thank
stories are absolutely hilarious because they're as raw as you can possibly get between, the puking on your grandfather, the cocaine, everything. The stuff you talk about is insane. Talk to me about the book.
I think I actually wanted to make it even rawer. Like I was gonna make like all stories of debauchery. Because I've been living my life as basically performance art in that like I've been making bad decisions and doing dumb stuff just for the stories so that one day I could fill a book with them. You know what I mean? Like when you really commit your life to making bad decisions like for the stories. So I have enough to fill a whole book, but I figured, you know what? Why don't I do a little bit of family, a little bit of pathos, a little bit of truth. Like I wanted people to get to know me. So I wanted some childhood stories and, I wanted people to know that, my mom had sex with children's author Shel Silverstein. I wanted to open up. There's only so much you can show on social media. Not everybody knows the full me. So I really wanted you to know, you can't tell the story of puking on your grandfather or that your mom had sex with Shel Silverstein on Instagram. You need long form for that. So I wanted to let people get to know me.
Speaking of Instagram, you're a pioneer. You've built a whole career using social media. I remember when I was like one of the last people. I just got on Instagram like 6 months ago, but I remember when Instagram started essentially blowing up.
Yeah.
And I would hear the Fat Jew, the Fat Jew, the Fat Jew. And I remember looking at your followers, and it was like thousands to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands to millions.
Yeah.
How have you built this whole thing into a career?
Instagram is one part of what I do. I think that's based on the numbers. I think that's how probably just sheer numbers. That's probably how most people are familiar with me. But it's part of like a larger ecosystem of like crazy stuff that I'm doing. But in terms of Instagram, like there's some stuff that's a formula. The internet, like boobs, puppies. You can't go wrong with this kind of stuff. Listen, you can't.
Your dogs have Instagram. How
Let me tell you, the celebrity dog Instagram game is insane. My dog has a publicist.
No way.
Dog rides in Ubers by itself. Dog drinks literally like sparkling water. Dog's hanging out with like Jane Lynch from Glee. I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know where the dog is. I literally, like, most people come home and they're like, oh, there's my dog. I'm like, where is my dog? She's like in Phoenix at like a Swiffer event. And I'm like, what? I'm like, 2015 is literally so dumb. But Instagram has been amazing because actually, some of my stuff is a little more out there. But Instagram has a lot of kind of rules. Zuckerberg is like, Zuckerberg's kind of a pharaoh. He's got a lot of rules. You can't put up crazy stuff. You can't go ultra crazy, which I think at first I thought was going to be a little bit prohibitive for me, but then I figured out that kind of made the party more accessible for everyone. And now I have like 8-year-olds coming up to me and like 75-year-old women sloshing around white wine being like, I don't have your stuff. You know what I mean? It's made it kind of like, it's made the party for kind of everybody, because it can't get too crazy.
When did it click for you? When does this thing click where you're like, okay, the numbers are growing. Yeah. I can make money off of this. I can actually turn this into something. I love watching him adjust the hair because I'm going to talk about the hair in a second too. It's like a full-time thing, but when did it click for you that, hey, I can make money off this?
I think the moment I realized that the whole thing was a real thing was I was in I was in LA and a couple came up to me, totally like normal, nice couple, and they were like, "Hey, we're big fans of your Instagram. Would you sign our baby?"
No way.
I swear, like with a marker. And they weren't like raging meth heads or like they weren't like teen parents. They were like of a totally acceptable age to have children, and they seemed like totally stable emotionally and financially. And they were like, "Will you sign the baby with the marker?" And I was like, 100%. And then as I'm doing it, it was like permanent marker. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, you know what? I think this is like a thing now. Like I think that now this is officially a thing. Yeah. So that was the moment when I knew it was real.
The hair, obviously, it's become your signature, and you and I were just talking off camera. We know each other a long time, and the hair has always been there. What's the maintenance that's required on that thing?
This thing is actually, the hair erection is actually relatively easy to maintain. It's one of my only gifts is that it just kind of stands. I don't really know why. Although I'm thinking about switching it because this fashion week, designer Tom Brown had a show. They ran an article about it in Vogue about how all the models had hair erections. They mentioned me. And now I'm seeing people with it. I think it's like a thing, which means my work here is done. And then I need to move on to like the next crazy look. Because I think when I met you, I had like a huge Jufro. I used to have half braids, half afro. I used to shave stuff in the back of my head. They would color in with food coloring so I could have a sunset that was pink with green. I had Morgan Freeman's face in the back of my head. But I always like to keep it like one step ahead. So now that the hair erection is popping, what's next?
Set a new trend.
Tell me what to do. Where do I go from here?
I don't even.
Where do you go from here?
It's got to be something unique, but I don't. You can't just shave it. You've got to keep the length.
I know.
I don't know what you do.
I'm thinking about going maybe like kind of cheetah print down here, like Dennis Rodman style, kind of a Rodman-esque.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, whatever just makes me look like the most ridiculous. Yeah.
I love it.
Totally.
When you look at social media and what it's become, where do you see it moving 3, 5, 10 years down the line? Because you'd mentioned you're forward thinking with your hair.
Yeah.
You've got to also be forward thinking with you as a brand. Where
Yeah.
do you see yourself moving? Where do you see social media moving?
I actually think that like we're going to experience a little bit of social media burnout. There's a lot of noise, you know. I mean, look, the internet is like the greatest of all time, and eventually it'll be like a chip in your eyeball. Like it's going to be there forever. But social media, particularly, we're going to get into a little bit of burnout. It's like too many photos of babies, too many like photos of like your frittata, you know what I mean? Too many photos of the sun setting. It's just enough. Like we're all eventually going to be like, I don't want to see this stuff. I've had enough. I can't look at this stuff anymore. And I think that like real life is about to get super hot. That's kind of my prediction. Like somehow they blend together. So I'm actually doing a lot of like real life stuff now off social media, like Rosé, even writing a book. Like some would say, why write a book? You know what I mean? You can tell these stories on Instagram or on Vine or in these short form, and I say no. I want things people can touch. You know, we're throwing parties for the books. They were like, why don't you do it on Periscope or some shit like that? And I'm like, no, I want to throw warehouse raves. So we're throwing these like raving rainbow events. So like read to rave, and it's gonna be like thousands of kids in a room like getting crazy like to promote reading. Why do it on Periscope? Like no one knows how to socially interact anymore. Everyone's like kind of weird now. You know what I mean? Especially kids.
Literally, I'm single, and I know you're married now, which is crazy, but I'm single, and you can't even talk to a woman anymore because they are on their phone the whole time.
Everybody's on there.
Probably texting other guys most of the
time. Most likely. Or Candy Crush. I mean, either way, they're probably not interested. I want like, I don't know. I don't see a rave in a warehouse as being any different than the internet, right? It's a bunch of people in a room, everybody's screaming, having a good time, people trying to get laid. It's like the real life internet. You know what I mean? But I want people to like interact and like do weird shit, like have experiences together. I'm just like, the internet's never going away. It's here forever and ever, which is amazing because I love the internet more than I love my family probably. But I just think we've seen, I don't know how many photos I can look at of like your dog, you know what I mean? And like, there's only so many
The Eggs Benedict you just stayed, it's like
enough with the Eggs Benedict.
Your Dad Bod show, by the way, you mentioned Fashion Week, and it automatically clicked for me. The Dad Bod show, man, it was like page 6 headliner. When do you come up with this?
Dad, I was saying that like, I'm thinking about it because like fashion, right? Like everybody, the whole key is that like if you look at these new fashion collections, like if you look at Kanye's show and stuff
it's like sweatpants and sweatshirts.
So everybody's trying to look like they don't give a shit, right? Everyone wants to look like they don't care. Not looking like you don't care, and that's always been like male models. You always want to look like you just woke up. Meanwhile, it takes 3 hours to look like you just woke up. Right. Everybody wants to look like crap. Like looking like you don't care and you effortlessly, I woke up like this. That's the look everybody's going for. But nobody really actually cares less than dads. You know what I mean? Which kind of in a weird way makes them like the ultimate fashion icon. Like they will proudly wear anything and just be like, check it out.
By the way, I've been waiting for this. Every
too.
10 minutes, we're right next to I've got to have him pan on this. We're right next to a coin machine, and it literally goes off. I've been waiting for it. I have a timer in my head, and I'm like, it's going off any second.
Oh my God, it's freaking me out.
As we pan to it, it's awesome.
I'm having like a drug flashback. This is freaky. Yeah, so no, I wanted to celebrate the fact that like everyone's trying to look like they don't care, but dads really don't. If you give a dad a free shirt that you get from a bank, you know, a Chase Bank shirt that you got for signing up for a checking account, they'll wear it for 7 years. You know what I mean? They will literally wear anything that you give them. They're like, and they don't even care. They'll show up looking crazy. Like my dad, for example, wears a lot of old stuff that I don't wear anymore. So it's like stuff that was hip 7 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I gave him a pair of Jeremy Scott shorts that have like lightning bolts on them and hamburgers, you know, crazy Jeremy Scott stuff, because I'm not going to wear that. He shows up to lunch wearing them. He looks insane. He's going, oh, I didn't even notice. They're shorts. I just put them on. You know what I mean? Really doesn't care. So we got like 20 guys from Craigslist, actual dads, and we let it rip, yeah. And it was like I think it was kind of refreshing for Fashion Week because everybody's trying so hard to not care, and no one at my show cared. And we had real food. All these events have like thimbles of salad and like there's nothing to eat.
You're like, here's hoagies.
Literally, here's a hoagie. Eat some nachos. Like, are we partying or what? You know, that's what's a Fashion Week party.
Congratulations, man. You're one of the funniest people on the planet. Everybody check out Money Pizza Respect. You know what's crazy is you'll see people, I'm going to put it again, go professional, put it back here, but you'll see people who, whether they're actors, comedians, in their act, they're hilarious. But then you interview them and they suck.
Totally.
You're just as funny in real life as you are not in real life. It's freaking amazing.
You want to go to Sandals in Jamaica together? I'm inviting you. Let's go. We should go on a trip.
Sandals.
Listen, the offer's on the table, Arthur.
I think I'd be scared to go to Jamaica with you. I don't think I'd come back alive. I would be like Amanda Knox. Like something crazy would happen. Something really bad would happen.
You'd get Joran van der Slooted or something. Yeah, something crazy would happen.
Dude, congratulations
Thanks
on
so much,
everything.
man.